Welcome to the Under Contract podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming back to the YouTube channel. This is Under Contract episode number 9, right? Have my longtime friend here. We've been boys since 2009, 10, back in the 24-hour fitness days. Yep. My friend Graceun here. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Yeah, man, we all 24-hour fitness, Pasadena, all Fairmont and Beltway.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of people there all the time.
Yeah, you remember Zach from over there?
Yeah.
I had him on the podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
You worked there, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. So many people got started there, but
I worked there. You remember? Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that.
I was working for my dad, and me and him got into it, and I was like, I'm going to go work at the gym. I don't need you, and I worked the overnight shift at the front desk, and I was like, this ain't it.
No, dude, I forgot about that. That's crazy. Yeah, damn. So, I mean, my favorite part of this podcast and what I do on this podcast, I love helping promote my friends' businesses. So, I mean, people have been seeing your Vaughn Transport shirt there, got representing. Yep. Tell them kind of what you do and where you do it and et cetera.
So we're a construction company, and we started 3 years ago now, and I was an operator first. But we do a lot of concrete, fence, and we had roll-off dumpsters, but we don't do that anymore because with everything going on and like the cost of everything, the expenses were just killing me.
Like what kind of expenses?
Diesel.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and like to empty those roll-offs everywhere you go, they're
pull that mic a little bit closer.
Oh, the roll-off. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
You're good.
To empty the roll-offs wherever I take them to, they're raising the rates on everything. Like everybody everywhere, it's just what's going on.
You mean the charge, like whenever you have like a dumpster full of crap and then you go to dump it at like Waste Management or wherever they kept going up?
Yep. Yeah, like by a lot. And they know they can do that because that's the only place where you can do that at. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's all you got. So
my buddy Scott Sadler was talking about getting roll-off boxes. So Scott, I hope you're listening right now. This is what you're going to be going up against.
It's competitive right now. It's saturated, but if you're a hustler, I mean, you can make it happen. I know I did. So
that
I know
sounds like being a realtor.
Yeah.
Saturated.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you said you were working. Where did you work at the plants? I remember you were on the DuPont, huh?
Yes, sir. I worked DuPont.
Damn. Where were you at? ITC?
Yeah, I started at ITC, and then I went to Carpenter Chemical, and then I ended up at Lubrizol, and I was there for 6 years.
Damn, you were there for that long?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So like, when did you kind of start getting the idea of like, man, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know what if I want to do this forever.
Probably after when I started there, I was in a unit that was continuous process, and all the guys we worked with, we were real tight knit. It was a good community to work with. It was after they shut that unit down and split us all up. They sent me to a unit where people were like, didn't care about one another. Nobody wanted to help each other out, calling in sick, leaving work for the next shift, intentionally. And I was like,
leaving work before the next?
No, like if they had like a list of things to do for the night, they would only do like 2 or 3 of them versus the whole list of 10 that needed to get done. So, cause they knew like somebody like myself or whoever would be coming in to do it, like they'll take care of it.
And they know you're the guy that takes care of business. So they're like, yeah.
Well, I was that guy. And then when they put you in situations like that, it makes you not that guy anymore because you're the only guy doing things like that. So you just get a bad attitude and the morale. Everybody's just looking to get one over on one another. So when you find people that want to work hard and care about the job, it's rare. So we had that in that unit I was talking about, and they closed it, and it was like, yeah, I need to find a way out of here now.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, just making you have those thoughts. You're like, man, I don't, what am I doing? Do I want to do this? And then eventually one day you just got to jump in with both feet, put that 2 weeks in. What was that like?
Well, it's funny. There was no 2 weeks. It was like, I went out for shoulder surgery. I broke my shoulder foot racing somebody one night. I'm an idiot, but long story. But I went out for shoulder surgery, and I was going to get them to help pay for it because I had the health benefits. I was going to go out on FMLA and just do that little song and dance and then quit. But COVID happened. So I had my surgery scheduled. Then they were like, yeah, we're going to have to test you and all this crazy stuff. And I was like, man, I really don't feel like dealing with all that. So I'm just not going to do the surgery. I'll just ride this FMLA out if I can. And I rode that out for like 2 months. I was still doing my thing, working. And
with your shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, it's healed. It's fine.
I broke this collarbone twice. I never did shit.
Yeah, so there you go. You know how it is. So.
Yeah.
And then I was still getting paid, and they were like, "Hey, you think you're gonna come back?" I'm like, "Yeah, my surgeon said, I'm not. I shouldn't come back to work, so I'm gonna listen to my doctor." And then I didn't get a check in May, and so they'd been turning my time in and paying me my percentage of whatever it is, like 80% of your salary.
Yeah.
And I didn't get paid one day. It was May 2020, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, they're letting you go." And I was like, "All right, that's cool, whatever." I was
already kind of thinking about that.
Yeah, I was on my way to Florida actually for a hot shot anyways, like working. So I was like, dude, whatever. I just need to let it go, because I was trying to hold on to it because I still didn't know if I wanted to or not, because it's a big commitment, dude. I was making a lot of money there.
Yeah.
I mean, my last year I grossed $187,000. I worked a lot, but
a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like that takes going back and forth between days and nights. I feel like that just takes years off your life.
Bro, it's not safe. And like, you work a full day Sunday, then you have that evening off. You go back the next night on Monday nights, then you start right back on night.
And you're expected to like stay sharp and like all this like safety
and
hazard.
Run explosive equipment and pumps and lineups, and a lot of mistakes happen because people are tired or they're just on their phone and don't care.
I feel like it's just guys on Adderall to stay up and then Ambien to go to bed at night.
Dude, it's crazy. I fell into that too, and it's not healthy. I mean, drinking every single time you get off work and taking Ambien to go to sleep.
Just to drown your pain.
Exactly. Because you're working 7 days in a row, off one day, and then back on 7 nights in a row, off 2 days. Like, do that for 3 months in a row. That's not healthy.
Dude, the turnaround, like you were saying, how like you'll come off of like straight days, have 1 day off, and then straight into nights. Yeah. That's crazy.
So yeah, they kind of baptized me in blood when they put me in that unit, because they were so shorthanded. When they shut Moldwin down, I was one of the first ones to go before they even shut it down, because they needed people so bad. And they put me on 7 on, 1 off, 7 on, 3 off for 3 months in a unit I don't even know how to work.
Yeah.
So, and then they trained me for like a couple weeks, like, man, you got it. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And that's when it was really starting to dawn on me. I was like, man, there's got to be something else. Because I see you doing your thing and everybody else doing their thing. I'm like, dude.
That's exactly how I felt. So I don't know if you remember when I graduated from Texas State, I got out and I was looking for a job. Well, I had a buddy that I had a couple classes with at Texas State. He's from, I think, like Spring or something. He was like, hey, we're hiring. I work for Maguire Home Builders. I'm like, okay, like, tell me more. And it was construction manager. So like the neighborhood I live in right here, there's probably 50 or so houses, and there's one construction manager, and he's in charge of building every single house
in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So all I knew was you had to have a college degree, and you were paid salary. I didn't really like that, but I didn't really have any other options at that point.
Yeah.
So started doing that, and I'll never forget, I worked 12 out of 14 days. It was in the Heights. So I was leaving my parents' house in Pasadena at 6:30 in the morning, getting there at like 7:45, working till 5, sometimes 6, and then getting home at like 6 or 7. Bro. So my first 2-week paycheck after taxes was $1,023. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, at that point I was like, I would rather, and I was still young enough. I was 23. So I was like, I'm still young enough. I could figure something else out. This ain't it.
Yeah, for sure.
And dude, just work and physical, like outside all day.
Yeah.
I lost like 30 pounds for no reason, just from being outside.
Instantly,
working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you came from, college. I'm sure you had a good time drinking and eating.
Hitting the square.
There you go.
Going to Whataburger.
Exactly. So, and then to jump into that. Yeah. And I honestly just recently had a kind of a revelation myself, because I'd had it so good for so long and been comfortable. I quit working out for like 2 years, dude. And you know me, I used to be in there twice a day, like every day.
Yeah.
So started getting active, started walking in the morning, started reading in the morning, and just really focused on growing my business, because it's all I care about, because it's my future, it's my family. So I'm doing everything right now, and everybody's kind of holding back because COVID or the economy and this. I'm doubling down because everybody else is chilling.
Yeah.
I'm busier than I've ever been. And dude, it's been a year and a half. I'm not certified to do any, whatever. Like, it's crazy. You can do whatever you want to do if you just stay focused.
Yes.
And see opportunity in everything.
Somebody's going to do it. Why not you?
Exactly.
Like, man, the COVID thing, like that beginning of 2020, I had no closings in January, no closings in February. I had one $85,000 condo closing in March, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, bro, I am dead. I'm chalk. I mean, this year is chalk. There's no way I'm not even going to make like the first club level like award.
Yeah.
2 months later, I had hit that one like it's called 100% club.
Okay.
I hit that by the middle of May, because it just went like that.
So what'd you do? Was there something you did, or? I
had, so January was 0, February was 0, March was 1, April was like 3, and then May was 10, like 10.
Dang. Yeah.
That's just how it happens.
Putting yourself out there.
And everybody, you would have sworn up and down, everybody was saying COVID's going to, nobody's going to want to look at houses and nobody's going to want to do anything. Everybody's scared. Then I actually caught it like right then, like June. So
yeah, but like you said, you could have gave up, and a lot of people do give up. You stuck it out, even that one closing in however many months, and then like you said, like that in May, it just turned into 10.
And like 6 years in, I'm just now getting used to like the ups and downs. Like I can kind of tell seasonally what's going to happen. Like January, February, March are always my slowest.
Yeah, and you also got to get on a wave of momentum, and you can feel it because like nothing can stop you, and you're super focused on everything you're doing in that moment, that to keep riding that wave. And it's nice when you notice it.
Yes.
So
yeah. So you kind of got let go. You're already going to quit. Then what was like the first? You started the roll-offs first, and you were hot shotting as well with that. You had that black single wheel, right?
Yeah, I did. A 2020.
Yeah,
that was nice. I bought that right before I left the plant. I bought the house I'm in now. I bought the truck. I bought everything I needed with that income, on my credit. And then once I had everything I needed, I just pieced out. But yeah, I started hot shotting. People were noticing me pulling the goosenecks around. And like, hey man, you want to do some hot shots? And at that time, the roll-offs were cool. They're making me money, but I'm always down to take on more stuff. So got into hot shotting, man, and drove to Utah for my first one, 33-hour drive.
Dang.
And I'd never left Texas or Louisiana, Florida. I just stayed down here. And so I drove all the way up there. I was like, my mind was blown. I'm like, where have I been the last 10, 15 years? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Just like, it's like Mars.
Yeah. And then I was getting paid to do it. I'm like, bro, this is exactly what I was wanting. So, and I got into that. I feel like anything I really want to get into, I can just pour everything into it, and just the phone calls start coming. And like, I've always been that guy. People ask me like, hey, you got a guy that can do lift kits? You got a guy that can do this or that? And I'm like, yeah, call so-and-so. I trust a lot of people.
Yeah. Connections.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. That's everything. People don't understand.
That's helped me a lot too.
Oh yeah. And it's an accumulative advantage, whatever, like you see the opportunity in everything, but you also have a good circle of people that have opportunities for you.
Yeah. Sometimes you think back and you're like, man, did I waste too much time in my 20s and blah, 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 blah. But now that I look back, yeah, I probably could have done more in my 20s, but I was also just screwing off with like all my friends, met their friends and then I met their friends. Then I had, I ended up having my Pasadena friends, my Deer Park friends, my League City friends, my Seabrook friends. Now I'm selling all them houses.
Yeah.
So it's like, it wasn't all for nothing. Like,
no, for
relationships are the best currency, man.
That's it. And I'm doing construction for all the same people. Like all them guys in Mont Belvieu buying houses, I'm putting concrete in their backyard, extending their driveways, doing fences and stuff. So
yeah, Sean Will. Sure. I sold him his house, and then you did his backyard.
Yeah. And he made a little TikTok for me. Shout out Sean, thank you, bro, because I got like 4 or 5 jobs from that, and people were calling me like, and they told me like, do what you did to Sean Will's house to my house. I'm like, okay, I'll be there.
Yeah, dude, how lucky are we to have social media to like spread our word?
Yeah,
I mean, like just doing this, like that's why I kind of started this. I just want to put out content, but I want it to be quality content. I can't stand like just whenever somebody, it's like, okay, so you want to grow your Instagram, you got to make one post a day. You got to post it 9 a.m. I'm like, dude, I don't have.
And people's stories and how they do things is like gives other people inspiration. Cause like, if I can do it, dude, I'm nobody. Like I grew up in Georgetown, Louisiana parish. Last time I checked Google, the population was 300. And like we had the elementary school, the junior high, and the high school all in one building. And I walked to school. Yeah. And there was like 30 people, 50 students or whatever it was.
Sounds like First Baptist Christian Academy when I was there.
And I graduated from Deer Park with 1,000 people.
Right.
So, we moved here from Louisiana. We didn't know anybody or anything. And we just.
When did y'all move here?
I was in 2nd grade. So however old you are then, what is it, 8?
Yeah, something like that.
2nd grade. My dad was a welder, and there was no work in Louisiana. And he came to Deer Park to work with somebody, and then he called us. He was like, "Hey, you want to move to Texas?" We're like, "Sure." We were living in a trailer, bro, in the woods.
You're like, "Dad, I'm 8. I don't know."
Like, whatever. Yeah, cool. And we loaded up what we had, dude. We had an old Thunderbird, and my dad had an old 7.3, like the early model, like the 96.
Yeah.
And standard. And we broke it. It broke down on I-10 on the way here. And we moved into a 2-bedroom apartment. Me, my mom, my dad, and my 2 sisters. So 5 people. And me and Corley and Tristan, we shared a bedroom. We put a sheet up in the middle of the room to split our sides.
Yeah.
And that's how we grew up, bro, in Deer Park. And just looking back now, it's crazy.
It is crazy because your dad's done pretty well.
Yeah, he did. And he kind of let his business fizzle out because he worked for like 50 years, bro. He always working. And he did good. He made a name for himself. And he only ran his business for like 12 years. It was like right when I graduated high school, he started it. And then it took off for them 10, 12 years. And then once he started getting kind of competitive, he's like, that's cool. Like he
was already older by then.
Yeah, and he was set, like, paid all his shit off and was like, nah.
Yeah.
Now he just chills at Canyon Lake every day.
I remember like the pictures of you and Michael just covered. Y'all were just black in the face working with your dad.
Yep.
Were we all? So I remember it was something about being like out at the refineries, but like in the, like, was it like trash cleanup or?
No, it was a metal recycling.
Yeah.
It was metal scrap yard. So they take cars and turn them into like quarter-sized pieces of metal. So, I mean, all that machinery is always breaking down and stuff. So, and he actually, I mean, talk about opportunities. He was working for a guy that was building that whole entire plant. And the guy was like, hey, I got a better opportunity. And he looked at my dad. He's like, you want to run this? And my dad's like, I guess. So he came home and told my mom. She's like, well, we got, you didn't know this, but I've been saving up money. We got 10 grand. We could buy a trailer and some tools. And so he did it, and his friends came and worked for him. He's like, look, guys, I can't pay you right now. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you, but if we get this job done, I know what we're going to get paid, and I'm going to take care of y'all. Yeah. And he didn't pay his friends, dude, for like a month, and they worked every day.
Some good friends, man.
They worked every day, bro. When they wrote him that first check, man, he just balled out on them, bro. They went out to eat, like, they all kinds of crazy stuff. So, and that was how it started. You
never know what you can get just by getting your ass off the couch in the morning. Like, even days where I don't really have anything specifically going on, I'm still out. Like, I go to the office, I go, drive by my listings just to make sure everything's good. Yeah. Just being out, and you never know what you're going to hit just being out. And, you and my dad remind me of a lot of each other because he started in construction in 1980. Yeah. Literally graduated high school and was like, oh shit, like what am I gonna do? Yeah. So went to work for Roman Haas and saved up 12 grand, bought a tractor, and that's how he started.
That's awesome, dude.
But he was telling me the other day, he was like, talking about when he first started and hiring employees and like getting to that point where how stressful it was and everything. And he was like, every time I turned around, they'd be wanting to go on vacation or they'd be wanting to do this. And he goes, even though nothing was going on, I said, I'm going to sit here and watch nothing go on. I was like, that's
because how hard he worked. I mean, he probably started with nothing and just
nothing. They got to a point to where they had to go up to my ranch and chop firewood to bring back and sell.
Dang.
He had to sell a deer rifle.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
That's scrapping.
And that's never left him. Like, you walk in his house today and on the AC, it says, do not go below 78. It's just how he'll always be.
And he's lived a good life because of that.
Oh yeah, just drives the same truck, just the newer one.
And he's in the mix every day. That's what I would call it, I guess. I just always every day be something involved with it. Like I see people that can lollygag for a lot.
I do not understand.
Like days at a time, and I'm like, what are y'all? How? What? Like
how does your mind not just start?
Yeah,
If idle hands are the devil's. What is it? Idle hands are the devil's playground. I believe that. Because, bro, if I don't have anything going on, the thoughts in my head go south.
Oh, yeah. And when I worked at the unit I was in, working nights, we'd be on a shutdown and everything would be done. We wouldn't have anything to do. We'd be
for like 6 hours.
12 hours, bro, sometimes. God. Just you'd have to stand up and go outside so you don't go crazy. And that makes you that way in everything else in your life. So, like, I'd be off for 7 days and I'd have all these things I needed to do. And I'm like, I'm tired. I just busted my ass for 7 days. I'm chill.
Yeah.
And then you go back the next night and you're like, damn, I didn't do shit. This ain't what it is, bro. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And I'm that personality where I've got to have like pressure in that I got to know that if I don't go out and get it, I ain't.
That's it.
Like,
and a lot of people ask like, how do you do it? Or they beg for opportunities. Like if
there's no secret.
If you have a cell phone and a pulse, dude, you can do anything.
This thing right here is so essential.
I hate it.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I hate it. It's like the more I work, the further I want to work to get into where I never need it again.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yeah. And, you know, I like to say, like, I pride myself in how responsive I am with my clients.
Yeah.
Like, if at all possible, I will answer the phone. But I've gotten to a point now that I'm 6 years in where I'm kind of learning where and how to apply the pressure with that. So like now I have times where I just like get fed up with it, and I'll have to put it on do not disturb for, you know, the evening, or like
turn it off or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And you never miss anything that can't, like, especially in real estate, if something can't get done by 5 or 6 at night, like, it probably ain't going to get done. So let's not worry about it. Now, if I know that there's a deadline by 8 p.m. where I got to write an offer by then, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, stay active with it. I hear you. And I'm guilty of it too, man. I'll keep my phone on, and somebody will call before bed or something when I probably shouldn't be. You know, it's like nothing that can't be handled the next day, but I want to be there for it. So
yeah. And it makes you wonder, like, where are we going to draw a line with technology? Like, it's just invading our lives.
Yeah.
Think about before really like 2000 or so, like, people had email, but it wasn't like it is now. Like, email is my lifeline. Everything comes through my email. But could you imagine just getting off work and going home and just enjoying peace and quiet?
It'd be awesome,
dude.
But I know like what you mean, because I was around before the internet. You were too.
Yes.
So we kind of watched where it evolved, like Y2K. I remember people were buying stuff because they thought the world was going to end on Y2K.
Keenan Miles' dad had a whole room stockpiled of Bush's baked beans.
People would do crazy stuff, dude. And then like I remember buying a cell phone from this dude at school who somehow got him. I don't know. I was like in 7th or 8th grade. Didn't even have service. Yeah, it didn't have service. It was a little Nokia. I played Snake on it.
Yeah.
And bought like a case that had lights on it just to look cool. It was like, couldn't even use it.
Just to have.
Yeah, just to have. So, and then like text messaging came out and it was like $2 a text.
Bro, I had a plan. It was 100 texts per month.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I would go over it every month.
Yeah.
Because I was used to talking on AIM and stuff. My mom would be like, why are you text messaging these people? Just call them. I don't understand. Just call them. And I'm like,
you don't understand, Mom.
Yeah. It's hilarious to look at it now. Like, me and my mom mainly text.
Yeah. There you go. And dude, the technology makes everybody really impatient too. Because if they text somebody and they don't get a response right away, they're like, hey, what's going on here? It's like, but some people have things going on where they can't be on their phone.
Yeah.
And I catch it too with younger people. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm loading a trailer. I'll call you when I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, you know, like, if you look on Instagram, I look at your Instagram, you're posting your jobs, looks like you're cruising along. I'm sure with real estate, it kind of looks the same way. Closings, happy, smiling clients. Yeah. Under contract, sold over asking price. It's like, okay, that's a big accomplishment in this market. But what are some of the things where it looks like it's easy, but it's more of a struggle, and it was like something you didn't expect? Like, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go in business for myself. Here's how it'll probably be, that versus like what it actually was. And like, what are some things that kind of hit you that surprised you as far as like how hard it was?
Managing people.
100%.
So and I pride myself in this. I've got all my guys are in-house. I used to subcontract guys out, and mistakes would happen. And it was really my fault because I didn't care like I do now. Then it would be like, hey, you know, here's what it is, you know, get it done. I'm gonna go over here while you get it done, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But now it's like, I'm pretty heavily involved in everything that goes into it. And so those guys will make mistakes, back to the subcontractors, and they didn't care because I had to pay them, you know, I'm the one dealing with the customer. So you find people
comes
like
back
that.
on you.
Yeah. You find people like that. And I don't want to tarnish my reputation because it's all, you know, we talk about social media being a blessing and a curse. If you're not doing the right thing and you're doing people wrong, they're going to know immediately.
They'll blast you on Facebook or something. Yeah.
And your reputation is
especially in your business.
And you will never get called again. You know, I mean, you got to do a lot to make it right.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have a problem doing that. I've lost a lot of money on making it right by people. I mean, you draw a line where someone gets unreasonable. It's like, look, I did everything in my power. This is a you problem.
You've had some crazies like that?
Oh yeah. I lost $12,000 on a job.
What?
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it is what it was. We messed up their tile and a bunch of other little dumb stuff, and I didn't care. I took a job way far away, and I was still really new. I got in over my head.
Yeah. And
it is what it is.
You learned.
Yeah, but it didn't turn into like getting sued or having to put liens on people's houses and stuff. I don't want to do that stuff. So
yeah, you know that dude Clint that who used to own Republic House?
I think I know him.
And he has the bars in Kemah.
Yeah.
He posted on Facebook the other day, and it just goes to show like how many people in like your line of work are just, they say they know what they're doing, but they do not know what they're doing. They hired some guy to come into their new bar. It's like on the canal in Clear Lake Shores, I think, something like that. But they wanted him to put like an epoxy on the floor to where it looked like there was like a beach, like with water, like washing. He's like, yeah, I can do all this. I can do that. Well, the dude absolutely destroyed their place. And like epoxy, you can't just get off of, like, it's on there.
Yeah.
And,
you got to know what you're doing too.
He like splattered it on the walls. Like it was everywhere. He poured concrete and then like messed it up and then like washed it down the drain.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, don't do that.
But it's like, man, like how can you tell somebody like, yeah, I got this, and you're taking their whole business into your own hands and just,
that's not right.
Stomping it out.
And I'm guilty of it too, because you never want to say no to a job.
Right.
Somebody, if you see the opportunity in it, but you got to come a point where you got to get honest with yourself. Like, can I really handle it or not?
Yeah.
And I had to learn that the hard way too.
Yeah.
So
I've had a few deals like that, like a few commercial deals. Like I got a call the other day from a client of mine. And he was like, hey, I'm thinking about selling. Do you think you could handle selling that? I'm like, man, I do mainly residential.
Yeah.
That I'll just be honest with you. Like I don't really have the resources. I could probably wade my way through the murky waters and figure it out, but I can't promise anything,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
but you stated it up front.
Yeah.
So
and he was like, well, I appreciate you being honest with me. And I had another guy who, he had a commercial property he's thinking about selling. And I told him kind of the same thing. I was like, I know I can sell it. I just don't have the resources that a full-time commercial guy would have. And he was like, oh, that's no problem. No problem. Yeah. Well, I know what I want. That's
usually how it goes every time.
Yeah. He was like, I know what I want for it. I'll just have you list it. When it comes time, I'm like, okay. Well, I was up front with the dude and told him.
And it worked out. And I'm sure he's got other friends with commercial properties that need to get sold too. So I've got a customer of mine I did a few jobs at, and he wanted to do some other stuff, like bring some dirt in and lay some sod and stuff I usually don't do. And he's like, do you know somebody can do it? And I was like, yeah, but honestly, talking about that one job, I'm like, I don't want to deal with it if it's not my guys. He said, look, I like what you do. I like who you are. I want you to do this. Put your money on it for what you think it's going to be worth. If you have somebody you trust to do it, bring them in, do it, make your money. Like, I've got a lot of work for you. And I've just been building relationships like that. I'm so busy off just stuff like that. It's just.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how, like, when you first start out, you thought like all your friends were going to use you. You thought they were going to refer you to everybody. And then you get online and you see a picture of someone's backyard and you're like,
and to be honest, they kind of used to upset me, but now it doesn't, because nobody's going to know anything about you or believe you till you show them.
Yes.
And that's what I had to do. And now, like, people that I've wanted to get jobs from that they gave to somebody else, now they're calling me or whatever. And then they're telling all their friends and all their friends' friends. And that's how I want my business to be, is just word of mouth, because you're less likely to get taken advantage of or screwed over if somebody who knew you.
If it's a warm lead.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
whatever if you have that is called.
If you have ties to the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've gotten referrals from some of the most random, like how'd you get, I always like to ask, how'd you hear about me?
Yeah.
And they'll say, oh, so-and-so, my wife works with this, she teaches with so-and-so. And it's like someone that I know them, but not really.
Know who they are. Yeah.
They just kind of see my stuff on Facebook, and it's just surprising.
Goes a long way. Like, dude, if that guy would have went to your Facebook and saw like half a star, this guy sucks. Don't call him. Probably wouldn't have called you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So what, you have any future plans? You thinking about branching out into anything else?
Man, I used to want to do, I want to get a big shop, like a commercial shop for my guys, and have a shower room, locker room for them to do stuff there and stuff.
Like a base, go there in the morning, pick everything up.
Because right now everything's in my backyard. I got my shop, but
it's a nice shop.
Thank you. May not be.
You got a nice little spot there now.
I know. I enjoy it, man. I put a lot of time into it.
You did. Because I remember when you were first thinking about buying it, you sent it to me and you were like, what do you think about this? And it needed a lot of work at that time, but you did it.
I did spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and I got it to where I want it, and I'm outgrowing it already, to be honest. And so looking at moving somewhere else. But back to the commercial shop deal for the guys, like I want to have like morning meetings and go over what we got for the day and stuff, and then have a place to come and eat lunch if they want, or change for the day or whatever. Have a gym there. I mean, I want to do stuff like that because these guys work for me and I care about them, and their lives are getting better from, I mean, we've been working 6 days a week averaging for the last 6 months. Yeah. At least 5 guys. And I mean, that's a big accomplishment for me coming from just being an operator.
If you could get you a 50 by 100 building, that would be more than enough room. Cause that's what, me and my dad built in Pasadena. And then we actually had one in Alvin. We just sold, I had 2 40 by 50s and a 50 by 100.
Is that the green one over off Graceun Drive?
No. That's this dude, Greg, that my dad sold that to. But ours are always, everything we do is blue.
Oh, yeah.
So, but the 50 by 100, when it was empty, like as soon as they finished it, I just walked in and I was like, holy shit, this is huge.
A lot of space.
And I started thinking like, man, I could have like a bar over here. I could have a weight area over here. I could have a pool table. Like there's just so much. And then you could have a little build out and live there.
For sure, dude. There's a house by my, I go walking every morning, and there's a house across the bayou from me that I look at every morning. I'll post it on my Instagram story because it's like a goal, a dream. Yeah. And dude, it's massive. And the center of it, he's got 2 RVs parked underneath it, and he like stairs up, all the stonework, got a copper roof. He's a neighborhood developer.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. I looked it up.
Is that the one you posted where there was like 5 bay doors?
No, that was at Kenny Lake.
That was baller.
Badass. Yeah.
That was super baller.
Yeah. Like I see that stuff, and I'm like, at the plant, I'd be like, that'd be cool to own one day. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do it though. Now I see it, I'm like, I know what I got to do now.
Yeah.
So, but back to the future, like we've been doing a lot of concrete, and I'd like to one day in maybe 10 to 15, 20 years, who knows, open a concrete plant.
Yeah.
And just, buy my own concrete for myself and just put every aspect of my business with itself. Like I even thought about maybe a hardware store that sold lumber. I don't know. Just,
you never know where it's going to
I think about stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like that.
You feel like whenever you go on those morning walks, that's where you get like the main source of your ideas.
Yes.
I'll go for a walk, or depending on how hot it is. I don't like to really run in the heat like it is outside right now. But usually if I go for a good, like hard run, like 2 miles in, that's when the ideas start just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. I saw you and Eric did was it 5K or 10K?
That was a 10K.
10K?
Dude.
Yeah.
It was so cold. And it's funny because you get there and you're like waiting for the race to start and you're just freezing.
Yeah, you're ready to
And
warm
then
up.
by the end of the first mile, you're wanting to like shed your jacket off. Yeah.
And I started jogging sometimes every now and then, but I told Eric, I'm like, yeah, let me know next time. And like I started doing it every morning. I'm like, dude, my feet started getting blistered and like swelling. I'm like, all right, now I jog every other morning or just rotate it. But
you just got to go slow. Like I used to try to just start like hot out the gate, but you learn you got to just
pace it.
Yeah. You don't worry about looking cool.
Yeah. No.
Like unless you're running 6-minute miles for like 10 miles straight, you're not elite. So just don't try to act like it.
Not going to happen.
And like when you're built I feel like I'm not built for running per se, but I probably have an easier time with it than a guy like you. You're just like a thicker dude.
Yeah.
So hips,
my fat ass walking up and down the road is plenty of exercise for me right now.
Yeah. Yeah, the hips and knees don't like that too much. But
so let me ask you a question. What do you want to do with the real estate? Or are you trying to keep it a secret?
Man, I actually have something in the works right now. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
I've found myself where I'm at a point where I've gotten so like busy to the point to where I'm discovering how much I hate doing back office work.
Yeah.
Because before you know it, like you're like, oh, I'm going to run to the office and knock out this, and this. Then you're there for 5 hours, and you're like, there goes my whole day.
Yeah.
And so what I've started doing is handing it off. Like I'll get the deals, write the contract, get it under contract. Then I pass all the clerical stuff to a transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
I've never even met her in person. It's all over email. Okay. I met her through a guy that I do know. He like got out of the business, but he was like, this girl's great. And he was really good. This dude, Dustin. But I've just passed everything off to her, and it's made my life a lot easier. But also whenever you're really buyer heavy, which is kind of how it's been lately, it's a lot harder on you just overall, because you're waking up in the morning doing your normal thing, and then you have to work when everyone else is off, which I knew that going in, and I don't have a problem doing that. But the problems arise when you have 2 or 3 buyers and they all want to look at something on Saturday.
Yeah.
So you're like, I can't be 2 places at one time. So I have a friend, we're talking about starting a team. So
there you go.
You heard it here first.
There you go.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
Yeah. It may be a month from now. It may be a year from now. I don't really know, but we're about to meet and talk about it. And I'm ready to kind of go to work and have someone else there with me to like bounce ideas off of. Like whenever you're on your own, no assistant, no nothing, it's just you. It kind of gets like, you feel like you're.
Like I'm always asking the guys I work with, I'm like, hey, what do we need to do? What can we do to make all this better? Like, that's all I care about, is making their lives better. Cause dude, it's 103 right now, and they're forming forms right now in Galveston for a concrete wall, you know? I mean, they've got everything they need, but it just is what it is. So like, if I can get them tools to make their job better, their life better, that's what I want to do right now. And
it becomes less and less, for me anyway, it became less and less about money really quick. Yeah. Like it used to be like, I'll never forget when I got my first check, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But then as you go, it became more about doing a good job, pleasing the clients, making sure they're taken care of. And then I wanted to also, like, I'm not going to lie, like there was I do want to sell cool houses, like big, nice, cool houses. Cause I think that's where you really get going as a realtor. When people see that you're doing kind of bigger deals, they know you can be trusted.
Yeah. And like the same with the paver job, like Sean's backyard, people saw me doing stuff like that. They're like, okay, this dude really knows what he's doing now.
Dude, I love how y'all do those, the black gravel with the squares. Yeah. That looks awesome.
The pavers. Yeah, man. Yeah. And we do it the same elevation as, whatever their back patio or whatever. So you just walk, it's seamless. You walk right out to it.
Yeah.
And, they're concrete pavers. We form them up with form boards and put rebar in them and everything. So if you wanted to put something heavy on it, you could.
Yeah.
But those, and they come out real clean because it just looks sunk into the rock. So, but like you said, people, your friends, nobody cares that you're doing something until they see like, damn, okay, they're for real now. Like, I'm going to use them.
Yeah. And a lot of people just don't, if you're not in business for yourself, you don't understand, like, if I got a guy, like anybody who needs a car, who am I calling? Keegan.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how my brain works now. Yeah. Most people are just going to deal with whoever they just happen to talk to.
Yeah.
I get calls all the time. Hey, I'm interested in this property. Hey, this guy just showed it to me over here. He's shown me a couple other properties. I'm like, well,
yeah. So
yeah. So a lot of people just don't know.
That's what it is, becoming the guy for everything. And then seeing an opportunity to help whenever needed. Like, I go and look at a lot of jobs, and this old lady needs her fence replaced, so I'll be there for that. But I see like a tree fell over on her back patio or something. She's like, oh, I'm like, hey, we'll take care of that for you over here. Even if you don't hire us, like, let me know, I'll come move that for you. And it's genuine. And
you get paid back 10 times too.
Yeah, dude. And you feel better too. Like, that's a really good feeling. Yeah.
Doing things for people feels so great. It's just in our DNA, man. Yeah. I think taking care of our tribe, our community.
Well, I mean, humans are tribal people. And if everyone understood that now, we'd be in a lot better place.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
It's a lot of crazy shit going on.
Dude, did you hear about the Roe versus Wade thing today?
I did.
Man, that's wild.
Whatever. If you want to go there? I mean,
we can go there. Yeah, well, let's go there. Let's go there.
I think it's personal choice, man.
Yeah.
I don't think the government has any right to infringe on anybody's personal decision they make with their doctor. Yeah. That is not the government's job or business, dude.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm not supporting it. I'm not, because there are situations, things happen, tragedies happen.
Separation of church and state, I think, is super important. Like, we shouldn't force people to like
do anything.
Yeah. And so like my point of view on it is, if you're out there having unprotected, irresponsible intercourse with random people, and you get pregnant, like, I could see a case against it at that. But if, God forbid, a woman is the R word, like, who are you to say that she has to like raise that kid?
I know.
And every time she looks at the kid, it like reminds her, ugh.
I know, man.
Yeah.
But I'm not a female. I hope you're not, or identify as one. I'm just kidding.
I don't think I am.
All the crazy shit, but so I can't. That's just an opinion. I'm no expert.
I never would have thought though that in 2022 you would see that. That's like some old school like religion, late 90s, early 2000s stuff. How people like just going to First Baptist. That's what I was raised with. Like no abortion ever type thing.
Yeah, and I grew up in church, Central Baptist in Deer Park, and I was at church every Wednesday and every Sunday, morning and night. And if I was sick and I didn't feel like going to church Sunday morning, I was grounded until I went back to church, and then I was ungrounded.
Dang.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, we're already 40 minutes in. Dang. Yeah. I actually have some stuff. I got to run up to Pasadena, but anything you want to add? Any parting words?
Yeah. If anybody's thinking about they want to do something and they're waiting on somebody to tell them, hey, yeah, go ahead and start, like, just do it, because the more you think about it, the more you'll talk yourself out of it. And you just got to go out there and do it and just stay in the mix. Always be looking for opportunity in everything and everybody, not for greed or for the money aspect, but just building something to be proud of, and that you can stand on and be like, dude, I did all this, with my team. I didn't do everything myself. I've got people on my team that do a lot. And without all them, I'm nothing, dude. I'm just like a dude shaking hands and measuring fences.
A facilitator.
That's it. And
a vessel. Yeah.
And right now we're structuring the business, and who knows, man, the future's bright.
It is.
And I've got a lot of hope too. So
yeah, me too. That's it. Cool, man. Well, thank you for doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We will talk to you later.
Thank you.